It's time for the movie raid, and tonight's victim is Ray Harper, that played in Chase and the including of Friday the 13th Vengeance. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Mike? Great to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Always, man. What have we been up to so far this year?
Oh, boy. 2018 was a heck of a year. I think 31 projects total. I'm already cast in this year so far right now to be the lead in 7 features, so it's going to be a good year. And Vengeance is, we're kicking it off with that. It's going to be a really, really busy one, but I love it. Can't seem to get enough of projects like this where people are super dedicated and passionate about what we're making. So,
how many times do you think you have to play so many minor and supporting roles to get that kind of notification to be the lead role?
I have a really, really unique perspective on that. I know a lot of times it takes years for people to get to that, to achieve that level or whatever. I literally got an agent and got a phone call that same week to be cast as the lead in Chase. They were looking for a combat veteran and somebody that had law enforcement experience, and then I showed up, read a few lines, and then the director, Bruce Troxel, wanted me to change the lines a little bit and give me a little bit of direction, and I changed it, and he said, well, you have the right look, you got the right qualifications that we're looking for, and you know how to take direction. So we start in 2 weeks. And that was my first project, his feature. I've never had an acting class, I wasn't a drama student in high school or anything, so it's still surreal to me, and that's probably why I'm so excited about doing these projects, because I've got lucky. That's really, what I say to people, but I was just in the right place at the right time. So I take it really, really seriously to not let people down when it comes to being the guy that they want me to be. So I have a unique perspective on that, and for the people that are out there just grinding away year after year, project after project to try to get that lead role, just keep doing it. That's all I can say about that. Just keep being the person that you want to be, to try to get to where you see yourself.
Having to become that lead role, it can be the most reward of the rewards right there, because it doesn't matter if it's a minuscule role, like a minuscule role or a small time film. It doesn't matter. The fact is that people are noticing you. People are noticing your talents, your skills, and they're not just casting you because they just need someone there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think Chase started off a lot of stuff for me because there were different people that were involved in that, and word of mouth goes a long ways. Hey, how would you like to do this project with me as soon as this is over? Or somebody's looking for a cop in this film, or a firefighter in this film. And I've made such a wonderful network of friends just starting out with that project on day one. And there's some super, super great actors in there. Better actors than I'll ever be. Michael Bell, Troy Lund. Some of these guys are just phenomenal. I think they were really surprised to know that was my first role, the very first time I'd ever stepped in front of a camera. I try to be the guy that the director's looking for, so I really immerse myself in that character to seem more believable. I guess that's my biggest part that I try to do is, I challenge myself to be that character so in depth that there's no question that's actually who that person is. And that's a challenge for me, but that's the easy part if you do your homework. That makes it more believable on screen,
I consider this being a rare thing of mentality, because as people get more noticeable and then they become eventually famous, and then now you got all these contracts to do these roles, and then some of these contracts are like ridiculous of what they want in the contract. They gotta have a limo that has to be with them at this, or they gotta have this at this location. Aside from all that crap, I'm not saying like specific actors or anybody, but I'm saying like there's a lot of actors that do get known for their talents but forget where they came from.
Yeah, that's a great point. Don't let this secret out. I feel like I need to pay people to have me in their projects versus the other way around. Just because I'm getting A, the opportunity, B, they want me to be in that film instead of me auditioning for something or whatever. That's 90% of the films that I've been in are people calling me up and saying, hey, I want you for this role. I've had a few auditions that I was really excited about, like I have to have this part. One way or another was a film that I auditioned for, and they gave me a call back, and then I ended up going down to the Hollywood Short Film Festival and the Kentucky Film Festival, and now it's going to be here in the Destiny City Film Festival in the Northwest. That film there, I was really, really dying to get the part, audition for, get the part. And with
think you have to prefer a specific genre in order to better accomplish yourself as an actor, or would you rather stick with whatever is coming your way?
Honestly, that's a great question. I think it's easier to stick with typecast characters that I play. The fun ones are the ones that you really, I've never played that before. I'm really challenging myself. And I normally play either a really good guy or a really bad guy. But the ones in the middle, those are the ones where you get a chance to flex your acting muscles, so to speak. It's easier to be somebody closer to Ray Hopper, in my example, to bring that character to life. It's just basically Ray Hopper with a different uniform on. But the ones that are something that I haven't tried to do before, those are the ones that I find really exciting and are super challenging. I could be really let down, like, oh, this isn't the direction that I thought this was going at all, or I'm not doing good enough to bring this character out. I need to do some more research on it, and then hopefully by the time the first day shooting comes around, my time and the making that come together, because I go to great lengths to bring each character to life, even if it's a simple one.
Yeah, and once the project is completed, after you perform the role, I mean, how do you feel like after each project is done? Do you think you still need some more shaping, or are you pretty much satisfied, or do you sometimes actually get offended the fact that, like you said, where the character has been going, but it was fine in front of the camera, but then once you see the final product, you'll be like, oh crap.
Yeah, that's a great question. I know that Bruce Troxel, I've had plenty of conversations about from the beginning to the end of the movie Chase. You can actually literally see my entire development as an actor take place from that 1 year and a couple months of filming, from the very first scene to the very end and scene of the movie. That transformation is evident. Maybe not to other people that see it for the first time, but it definitely is to me. I go back and watch it like, I kind of wish I would have looked that direction on this, or maybe give it a longer pause or something in there. I'm super hypercritical of myself, and especially when I see myself on a big screen or whatever. I'm getting better at looking past myself and just appreciate the film for what it is. But I think I'm always going to be that way. I've always been really critical of myself and try to force myself to do the best job that I possibly can. Especially if somebody else is asking me, I want you to be part of this. Can you help me make this good? And then I double up and try to bring that much more of myself to help them out, kind of thing.
Yeah, and the artist is really literally his or her worst critic, because you definitely want to get out there. I mean, nobody's perfect. You want to get out there. You want it to be the best, whatever role that you want to be. How do you think that the audience would feel being on your side, or do you think you want them to be against you, depending on the role?
Oh, that's a good point. You try to be a character that the audience can relate to. If I take on one of these really dark roles or whatever, or somebody that I'm a guy who walk around packing a gun, hunting down kids. That's I'm in this film called Kinetic. That I'm actually sort of this mercenary assassin type guy. I don't want the audience to like me. I mean, I'm deep down. I want the audience to be like, wow, this guy's got some talent here as an actor to pull off this guy. But I almost want the audience. My role is to make the audience not like me. You'll catch yourself doing that when you watch a film with somebody that does a really good job at creeping you out, or somebody that you're really not supposed to like. At the end of the movie, I'm like, I really don't like that guy. Just don't like him. That tells me that he was really convincing in his role as a character to make me not like him. One of the things we've talked about on a handful of sets is that the bad guy doesn't realize what he's doing is bad. He's trying to convince the audience that what he's doing, he's justified in his own mind as what he's doing is the right thing, even though it's wrong. So there's that game you kind of have to play there. But yeah, great question. As a good guy, I want the audience really and sort of have those people on my team, so to speak, in a film. But as the bad guy goes, I want people to really not like me, to be more convincing as a character in that film.
Yeah, and a lot of times you see these big-time films and you see these big-time stars and stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing this role. There's nothing wrong trying to play, be the bad guy, be the good guy, or whatever. But the thing is, that focus is going to slowly dissipate, because if you're not just focusing, if you're only focusing on just doing the role, you're not focusing like where the character is going. Because if the audience is watching you, they want to be on this journey with the character, regardless if it's good or bad of this character. They want to follow you on this journey, because if you play it out throughout the story, along with the story, they'll come with you regardless. And as far as the hate you or love you, depending on what kind of type of character you are, they'll get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can take that, depending, I've had small roles in films. You don't really have the opportunity to bring the audience with you very far. If you just have a small role in a film. But if you're a lead in a project, you can take them all over the place. There's films that I've been in where I start out as a good guy, and I'm bringing the audience with me on that journey the entire time. At the very end, they realize that I'm a bad guy. Those are my favorite roles, because I can't let anyone believe that I'm actually a bad guy till the very end, and then I'm a really, really bad guy. So yeah, that's a great analogy.
And there's a lot of methods and a lot of ways to get that role out there, to sell that point, to sell what you are and what you're all about in terms of this role. But do you think self-portrayal is a good way to sell the point as of what your character is? I mean, I know you said that you've been working on how you play these roles, but like, do you think just playing yourself in this role is actually good for you?
Yeah, I get so deep into character. Last year I had a couple projects where I played a suicidal cop, and then I, back to back was with another project that I actually hanged myself. I have this overwhelming sense to just be this depressed, like sleepless person in real life. By the time both of these roles were over with, I was just exhausted. And I remember, plenty of times growing up, I didn't start into acting until I was 45 years old. So there's a lot of things that I've remembered in the past, and I can reflect back now and be like, oh, I remember when one of those A-listers said that, like, I'm so exhausted, I have to take a break from this. And then I can truly understand now how that happens, because I don't just, step in front of the camera and try to be this person for a second and then walk off. I'm literally that person, like, this Deputy Tucker in Vengeance. I've been that person in my mind and in real life for weeks now. It's not that far stretched away from being Ray Hopper in real life, but there are times that I have to pause and be like, have an interaction with somebody that I'm not the sheriff character, but it makes it easier for me to go to that length. I study mannerisms and postures and speech patterns and facial expressions and speaking styles, and I incorporate that into being that character that I'm portraying. So it takes a long time to get into it, and it takes a long time to get out of it, to get back to quote real life again. I've been so busy from week to week to week with different projects. Some are still ongoing for a year or whatever. Like M. Night Shyamalan's character in Glass, the 20-some different personalities. I feel like that I'm that guy sometimes with all these people that I'm trying to be, and still try to be happy-go-lucky Ray Hopper on the outside in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, you guys seriously be careful with that, though, man. I mean, that's great that once you dive into this character, you be this character. It's almost like a strong cologne, man. Once you put it on, everyone's going to see it, everyone's going to smell it, and then you're going to have a hard time washing that stuff off because you like it so much, and then after a week later, it's like, man, this thing reeks after a while, and you can't shake it off.
That's a great metaphor, and that's a great metaphor. I might have to borrow that because that's true. That's absolutely true. Here in the last probably 6 or 7 months, I've gone more from being a good guy into these darker, angrier, shorter-tempered bad guy roles, I guess, for lack of a better word. And I do catch myself that. I'm actually looking forward to doing a lighthearted comedy. I think that would be really, really fun to do. And more I'm getting these people that, like, you pull off a creepy character really, really well. And the funny thing is, to meet you in real life, like this happy, loves to laugh kind of guy, but you do this really good. So I kind of want to into this, you're a bad cop and everybody thinks you're good on the outside until the very end kind of thing. And I just picked up 4 different projects as being that guy that ends up being evil. I'm going to have to watch how much cologne I dump on. You're right.
Forming from the film Chased, is this what brought you, like, the reflection of that character into Friday the 13th Vengeance? Is that what made you want to continue with this project?
Did my character in Chased make me want to be the continuation of the character in Vengeance? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was at a script read for a film called Hooked, a feature that we shot in Seattle. Like, in the middle of the script read, Jeremy Brown sent me a message, said, hey, are you interested in being in the new Vengeance film? And I was like, yeah. So I would send him a message on my phone underneath the table, and I'd look up and I'd read a couple more lines, and then I went back to texting him back and forth. And I knew that in the beginning I had a different character. There was talk about having me play Tommy Jarvis, who's the main character in Friday the 13th films in the past. He said it was, at this point it's either that or have you play sheriff. And as fun as it is to be the main character in someone's project, I've got 7 different scripts sitting right here on my desk that I'm trying to read all through at the same time. I was more than happy to be the sheriff because that's something that, A, I could pull off time-wise. B, it's easier for me to be that guy, and I really like being a cop and a sheriff or a deputy in films. I don't know if it's because I had that experience in the military, working in law enforcement, or I just like the look. I mean, the uniforms that Julia Valenti picked up for us for this film, they're amazing. She's really incredible when it comes to attention to detail. Our belt, I mean, she's put tons and tons of time in for making these characters believable. And to see Steve Dash in his uniform, he looks incredible. I really wanted to lean more towards that sheriff or deputy role for this film too, and I really enjoyed playing the sheriff in the movie Chase for Bruce Troxel.
As far as playing like deputy or sheriff, I think that would be interesting because you never know where this could play out, because either this character could be venturous, he could be the hero, he could be neutral, or he could be the guy that screw you over.
Exactly. Yeah, and I felt like I would be doing a disservice to every fan and every single Friday the 13th film in history to not spend a year's amount of time watching every movie and every single thing that Tommy Jarvis has done in movies past and stuff, and get my hands on as much literature and much research. And I was thinking, geez, this is a huge opportunity, but at the same time, that's a lot to take on. And with all the other projects and stuff that I'm doing right now, to me, it doesn't really matter if it's somebody from Hollywood calling me up or if it's somebody down the street says, hey, you want to be a part of this project. I have a tough time saying no, because it's another opportunity for me. To me, that's the resume list that says how much experience you have being an actor before we consider you for this film role. Well, I just started last year. Oh, well, that's not very much. Like, oh, geez, 45 films. That's quite a bit. In my mind, that's the battle that I'm playing with. And I'm just a normal person. I'm passionate about doing this, and I'd like to do as much as I can, but to try to balance that with normal life. There's tons of friends of mine that are dedicated, bona fide actors. That's what they do. That's their job. And maybe one day I'll get there. A lot of people say, dude, you're bound for Hollywood next year. I'm still going to be Ray. I still have a life with two dogs and, picket fence kind of lifestyle. So I don't anticipate that in reality. I'm more of a, well, let's just see what happens today kind of thing. But for those people that take it on like this is their job, every single day they're hustling. They're doing auditions as much as they can. I take on what I take on and then double that, but I don't take on every time I see an audition, jump on it, because of course you have a work life and things like that. But yeah, you really got to be careful with Cologne.
Now go ahead and plug in anything that you wish to promote, anything in websites. Is Chased out on DVD, or can we expect anything else along with that? But is there anything else that has been released that you would like to promote, like Chased?
Yeah, there's actually a bunch of films that I can talk about. Chased is probably my favorite one. It's going to be one that's close to my heart, just because it was my first project, and I really love the character that I played in there. And this character is a combat veteran, Afghanistan veteran. The equanimity of this character, the sheriff has, he's this cool, collected guy, all the way up till about 75% to the film, and then you see this emotional transition that he goes. That's going to be a film that I really keep dear to myself, just because of everything that happened. I learned so much on that one, but there are big projects that I'm excited about. Obviously, Vengeance, I'm really stoked about that one. Big Trouble in Seattle with David Fowler, Trapped with Ryan Costanet, Capital Murder with David Goodman. But Vengeance is one that's right on my front burner right now. It's going to be a really fun project. All the people involved, Jason Burke, Peter and Julia, D-Dash, obviously. Everybody that's involved with that one, from Lexi, Mike Mead, Jeremy Brown, Stacey Brown, Dustin. It's just that super group of people that are coming together to make this thing really cool. I think it's going to pop some eyes open for sure.
And there you have it, everybody. That is actor Ray Hopper.
I really appreciate you having me on the show, Mike.